is going to be a Turkish-made Fed Arm SS410 shotgun. Now it's chambered in 410 and it'll accept up to 3-inch shells, which is pretty good, especially when you're doing hunting application. And we're going to be kind of looking at different loads today to see what's most effective. Mostly I would expect that this is going to be more suited for small game, but you can, in certain circumstances, use this for larger game or even home defense. So let's check out a couple loads with this thing. Now, like I mentioned, I featured this thing before, and I use it as a backpack survival camp gun. And I just take the end off, and in there I have a sling and a shell sleeve that I'll simply put on there. Check out the other video and it'll show it off pretty good. Today we're going to focus more on how well this thing shoots with different loads. But it's super simple. You just reach up front here at the trigger guard and push it back like that, and it'll open it up. Now if you keep pushing down, it'll fold her all the way down nice and compact that you can stick it in a backpack. But it works the same for loading too. Now there's going to be no shell ejector on this one, so you have to manually extract it. And then when you do get it loaded up, and obviously you saw it's not loaded now, you have to manually cock the hammer. And it's very simple in that regard. Let's take it through its paces. I'm going to show you the 3 loads I'm going to be using, and then we'll take it down range. I'm going to be doing this at 2 ranges. It's going to be 15 and 25 yards to show basic application, and then we'll use some smaller targets to show how effective this thing could be possibly against small game. The 3 loads I'm going to be using today are 2.5-inch shells, and the first one we're going to do is number 6 small game shot. The second one is going to be triple buckshot, and the 410 triple defense. We're going to see how well they do on paper, first at 15 and then 25 yards. Now the nice thing about shotguns, especially the 410, I don't have to really change out the target all that much, especially since we're going to be going between birdshot or small game shot and buckshot. So it's going to be pretty easy to tell which one's which. So we're going to start off with the number 6, and at 15 yards we're going to take a shot. We're going to look for shot pattern, how much spread we're going to be looking at. That'll kind of help us figure out how well this thing does at range. So without further ado, here we are 15 with the number 6 shot. That's a pretty good spread there. Let's go check this out. Now at 15 yards, the number 6 shot just absolutely pulverized this big target here. So any kind of small game, let's say you got a rabbit or something like that, you're gonna at least nick them and then hopefully put them down. But this would be really good for like birds and such. Would I use number 6 shot on like a larger bird, let's say like waterfowl? No, absolutely not. You'd probably want to bump up to something like a steel shot or whatever. But for smaller game like squirrels and such, oh yeah, this will do the job for sure. Now we saw how that worked out with the number 6 shot. Now we're going to do the double-aught, which is going to be 4 pellets. So again, I don't feel like I need to change out the target because it's going to be very obvious what's what. So at 15 yards, let's see how effective this is. That looks pretty good. Now looking at the buckshot here at 15 yards, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that actually looks pretty good. If you're going to use that in maybe a larger game application, you know, like I don't know, maybe if you really wanted to do deer with it, I wouldn't recommend that, but it'll work. If you want to use this in home defense application, 15 yards, I mean, if you got 15 yards inside of your house, then yeah, that's how it'll pattern up for you. But if you're just doing like a hallway sweeper kind of situation and all you got is a 410, well, that buckshot will definitely do the job, and it holds a pretty nice pattern. Alright, so we're looking pretty darn good. The buckshot patterned up very nicely at 15 yards, and I ended up pasting it. That way there's no confusion when it comes down to the triple defense here. And I'm kind of curious how this one's going to go. So this is a slug that's going to be followed up with some buckshot pellets, so we're going to see how it does. So here we go again, 15 yards. The nice thing about the 410, it does not pack a wallop at all. it seems effective downrange, and when we do some smaller targets, you know, like got a pop bottle and stuff, we're going to see how well these things perform against them. But on target, they're looking pretty good.